So let's dive in and explore the world of cyber threat intel. I'd like to dive into the fundamental concepts and principles that govern the field. We'll focus on understanding the complexities of cyber threats, the tools and techniques used by attackers, and the strategies employed by defenders to protect against these threats. Let's discuss a few key terms before we get started. Threat actors. Who are the individuals and groups or nation states behind the cyber attacks? Indicators of compromise, IOCs. How do attackers leave digital footprints that can be detected and analyzed? TTPs, tactics, techniques, and procedures. These are the methods that an attacker uses to breach systems and steal our data. And lastly, adversary profiles. How can we create detailed profiles of threat actors to better anticipate their behavior? My goal here is to help us deepen our understanding of CTI process and its importance within the cybersecurity field. So by the end of this lecture presentation, you'll be equipped with the knowledge to make informed decisions about your own online security and that of others. Let's dive in to the journey of cyber threat intel. So let's understand what cyber threats are. First, let's start with malware. A common malware that we've all heard is ransomware. This type of malware encrypts a victim's files and demands payment in exchange for decryption keys, such as a WannaCry and NotPetya. The next topic is Trojans. This is a malicious software disguised as legitimate programs which can steal data or install other malware on a victim's device. Zeus, Emotet. And then lastly, the most common one that we hear is viruses. These are self-replicating malware that spreads to other devices and causes damage, conflictor, etc. Additionally, we have phishing. All of us have dealt with this more than once in our career, either as the person receiving the phish or those defending against it. One key type is spear phishing. This is targeted attacks against specific individuals within inside your organization or the organization itself, often using social engineering tactics to trick us into divulging sensitive information, such as business email compromise attacks. And then you have the whaling attacks. This is the advanced spear phishing attack, targeted at high-profile executives such as your CEO, your controllers, or anyone making key decision makers within inside of your organization. Additionally, a denial of service attack. This can be a network denial of service DOS, where it overwhelms the network with traffic from multiple sources, making it unavailable to its users. And then the application denial of service. This targets specific applications or services to disrupt its functionality. And briefly mention social engineering, so let's talk about what that is in the context of cyber threats. This is pretexting. They create a fictitious scenario to trick you into divulging sensitive information or performing certain actions. Through a baiting link, this is enticing information, free trials, discount products. Your package is not delivered, please update here, to lure victims into installing malware and revealing sensitive information, which leads into data theft. This is your ID theft, where it steals an individual's identity and uses their personal information for financial gains or other malicious purposes. Card scheming. This is where a hacker hacks a point of sale system, the POS, to steal your credit card numbers and PINs. And a few other threats not covered directly with CTI that we can briefly mention is your insider threats. This is authorized personnel misusing their access privileges to compromise sensitive data and disrupt operations. You can either have a disgruntled employee or the accidental and an insider threat. So these examples illustrate the diversity and complexity of cyber threats that we face day in and day out, emphasizing the importance of proactive security measures and continuous awareness training to protect our organizations from future cyber risk and threats. So as we dive into this, cybersecurity threats evolve and become increasingly sophisticated as we're going into 2025. The importance of cyber threat intel, CTI, cannot be overstated. CTI plays a critical role in helping organizations anticipate, prepare for, and respond to cyber attacks. So let's discuss three key aspects of CTI: gathering information, analyzing data, and sharing insights. In the first one, you're collecting data from various sources, such as open source intel, OSINT, closed sourced intel, the CSI, and human intelligence, HUMINT, to identify potential threats while monitoring their activities, which leads you into analyzing data. This is where you're processing and analyzing all the data that was gathered to identify patterns, trends, and anomalies through the use of large advanced analytic techniques to extract insights from those large data sets found in your data lakes, your SIM or SOAR products, and other business applications, thus allowing you to correlate data across all of these multiple sources to create a comprehensive picture of emerging threats. Finally, sharing these insights. You have to be able to effectively communicate actionable intel to stakeholders within inside of your organization or to the broader community, thus providing context and recommendations for mitigating risk and improving one's security posture, thus facilitating collaboration among internal teams, partners, and external agencies to enhance your overall security. So a few benefits of an effective CTI program allows you to stay informed about emerging threats and their potential impact on your organization. It helps you prepare for a better incident response, bringing better preparation to detect, to respond to, and to contain your cyber incidents, thus reducing risk as you're identifying vulnerabilities and implementing mitigations before they're exploited by the threat actors. Additionally, CTI can help increase compliance. It demonstrates a commitment to your cybersecurity best practices and regulatory requirements. So, make sure you're integrating CTI into your security strategy by incorporating it into the organization's overall security frameworks, aligning it with business objectives and risk management processes. Establish a dedicated CTI team or function to gather, analyze, and share threat intelligence with inside of your organization, thus staying up to date on emerging threats. Through continuous monitoring and updating your knowledge of evolving threats, you're able to quickly and efficiently adapt your security posture accordingly. By understanding the role of cyber threat intel and gathering information, analyzing data, and sharing insights, your organization can better position itself to anticipate and respond to emerging threats, ultimately improving your overall security posture. So now let's talk about a day in the life of a cyber threat intel analyst. Likely in the morning, you're going to review the various threat intelligence feeds that came in overnight. The OSINT, this could be from Twitter and Reddit, your closed source intel, the CSI from sensitive information platforms that you've subscribed to, and then your human intelligence sources from your informants or your insiders that you've been working with. Additionally, you'll be reviewing reports from other organizations, governments, and private companies to help you identify emerging threats and trends that could impact your organization. You'll be staying up to date on industry news. You'll be reading articles and news stories about the latest attacks, vulnerabilities, and security-related developments. So your focus is to investigate a potential threat. You'll focus on a specific threat or vulnerability that has been identified as a high risk, such as a new malware variant, a zero-day exploit in a popular software application such as Chrome or Microsoft Edge, or an attack against a critical infrastructure sector such as healthcare, finance, manufacturing, thus allowing you to research the various tools and techniques to analyze the data, such as network traffic analysis, system logs, and your SIM, and then other publicly available databases and repos, Shodan, the CVE, etc. This will allow you to come back and look for patterns and connections between the different data points, such as correlating malware samples to identify a potential author or affiliate, analyzing network traffic to identify suspicious activity or malicious actors from a specific region attacking your organization, thus allowing you to collaborate and communicate your findings. You'll brief your team members on the latest threats discovered and discuss potential course of action. You'll work with the incident response teams to collaborate on an IRP that is developed and ready to implement mitigation strategies for the identified threats that you've found. And you'll present your intelligence to the respective stakeholders, providing regular updates and insights to your executive leadership team, the director of your security operations, and other key stakeholders. Which leads you into your afternoon and evening. You'll be creating detailed profiles of the identified threats, including threat actors, goals and motivations, their TTPs that's used by the attackers, and allowing you to identify the vulnerabilities and weaknesses related to those threat actors. Then you'll analyze the adversary behavior. You'll study their behaviors and techniques to make sure that you can identify their potential patterns and trends. You'll develop recommendations for mitigating, providing actionable advice on how to mitigate the identified threats, including implementing new security controls or patches, helping conduct user awareness training programs, while embedding your findings and corrective actions into your incident response plans. Thus, wrapping up your day by writing up summaries of the day's research and analysis, including key takeaways and recommendations. And you'll continue to monitor the threat feeds and research sources so that you're staying informed about emerging threats and development and being prepared for tomorrow's challenges. You'll plan ahead for the next day's task and priorities, thus leading you to be prepared to take action when the time comes. Now let's quickly go over some key skills for a threat intel analyst. The technical skills. You'll need to have a deep understanding of how computer networks work, the different operating systems such as Linux, Windows, or Macs, and you'll need to be proficient in certain security protocols. Do you understand TCP? Do you understand how specific programming languages are written and how they're used? Can you create snort rules or YARA rules and regex to be able to parse data? And are you comfortable with SQL or KQL to be able to work through the data that's inside of your security tools? And then I have analytical skills, the ability to analyze large data sets. This could be the use of Python or R to look for patterns and anomalies inside of the logs that you're reviewing to draw meaningful conclusions from that data. And then communication. You must be able to effectively read, write, and provide both written and verbal communications to help convey the complex technical information in a clear and concise manner to both technical and non-technical audience. For example, you need to be able to distill your information into a common language that's understood by your executives, the different leaders of your lines of business, as well as your incident response teams, your digital forensics teams, and or your lawyers. And you must have problem solving skills. You have to be able to think critically, think outside the box, get creative to simplify complex cybersecurity problems in a way that's easy to digest while being able to adapt to the evolving threats we face day in and day out within inside of cybersecurity. So we've briefly covered it already, so let's dive into staying ahead of the curve. You must be a continuous learner. You must be someone who is itching to learn and try new things. Because a cyber threat intel analyst has to stay up to date on all the threats, vulnerabilities, and security trends that we have in the market. You can do this by subscribing to news feeds, attending local meetups, being part of security communities, and potentially being active in your information sharing groups, your ISACs. Thus, networking. Other cybersecurity individuals are a great avenue to stay ahead of the curve. Being active in a Discord or Signal group or a local meetup chapter with the FBI, DHS, or others who can share information with you helps you be a better CTI analyst because you're able to quickly glean information cheaply. You're able to apply the knowledge that others have dealt with to better secure your organization in the event that they are attacked or exploited a known vulnerability. There are many industry certifications you can get. You can go after certain platforms such as SANS GX. You could go after IAS2. TCM, many organizations have training modules for you to look up. You can go out today and find a training module with many different organizations. So make sure you're staying ahead of the curve. Stay abreast by reading articles. Network with your local communities. Get involved in them. And consider industry certifications to help learn tactics, techniques, and procedures to quickly glean information. Maybe even consider going back and getting courses in data analytics, data science to properly analyze the data that you're interacting with. So now there are challenges and rewards for being a cyber threat intel as a career. Some of the challenges we've already alluded to. You have to be a constant learner. It's going to feel tough to keep up. You're going to feel like you're behind the eight ball. You're going to deal with complex and evolving threats day in and day out, which can wear you down because you're going to be digging through large data sets that sometimes will make your eyes water. And it's a high pressure environment. So make sure you have a support system. Make sure you understand how to decompress and walk away to clear your mind. The rewards, though, is you're making a tangible impact because you're protecting your organization and potentially stopping national or global threats by doing the work that you're doing. Additionally, this is a critical aspect to cybersecurity because you're learning and developing and you're applying these skills to help build cutting edge technology that will allow the people who come after you to be more efficient in their jobs. So press on and continue to do the hard work that this field requires. So to help alleviate some of this challenge, let's think about the future of cyber threat intel. There's going to be an increase in automation. AI and machine learning are going to play a significant role in the future of threat detection, analysis, and response. So learn about them now. Think about how you can apply them and be ready to respond with these new tool sets. By focusing on a proactive defense, CTI will shift towards more proactive defense strategies as we will be able to anticipate threats before they occur, thus leveraging automation. It's going to continue and grow the importance of human expertise. Despite the advances of AI and ML, we as humans will remain a key focus due to our thinking, decision making, and strategic analysis capabilities. It's not yet in artificial intelligence and machine learning. So use automation where you can, develop more rules through content engineering with the CTI platforms, your threat intel platforms, and leverage the intel and intelligence that you have as a human to add value to your organization's CTI program. So now our call to action is we have to build a secure future. That means you and I have to be willing and able to dive into the new evolving threats. You and I have to be able to pass the torch to the next generation. We need to be comfortable building out knowledge base articles. We need to be comfortable sharing the knowledge that we've gleaned from our analysis, our formal and informal studies, and the communities we've been part of. Because this field is dynamic and rewarding, even in the high pressure and challenging times. So embrace the knowledge and passion you have for cybersecurity and cyber threat intel, and use these skills to build the next generation. Pass your knowledge on to the next generation. Enable your organizations to make smart and timely decisions by being able to articulate information in a clear, concise manner with common language. If you found this presentation helpful, please like and subscribe. and I look forward to sharing additional topics with you in the future. If you have any questions, you can find me on LinkedIn. You can leave a comment, and I'd be glad to follow up with you. Until then, stay safe and stay secure.